When people talk about the greatest cities in music history, they often mention Detroit, Memphis, Philadelphia, or New Orleans. But there's one city that deserves far more recognition. A city that helped shape funk music forever. Dayton, Ohio. This is a city that produced an unbelievable number of legendary musicians, bands that changed the sound of funk, and groups that influenced generations. They are all hidden within Dayton's rich musical history. These are stories that deserve far more attention. One of those stories belongs to a group that had groove, soul, and undeniable musical chemistry. They created timeless music that still moves people decades later. Music that helped define Dayton funk. This is the story of one of Dayton's underground funk groups. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Faze-O. Now before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Before we talk about Faze-O, we have to understand Dayton, because Dayton wasn't just another city. It became the breeding ground for extraordinary talent. The city was known as the land of funk, and it had produced legendary acts such as the Ohio Players, Slave, Zap, and Lakeside. Dayton had something special. If you wanted musical respect in Dayton, you had to earn it. That environment helped create Faze-O. The group emerged from Dayton's rich musical environment. Like many great funk groups, that was built on chemistry. Musicians who understood groove, rhythm, timing, energy, and soul. From the start, they had something special. Their sound wasn't ordinary. It carried the signature of Dayton feeling. They understood funk at its core, not just as music, but as feeling. The roots of the band lies in its predecessor group, Phase 3, a trio that included bassist Tyrone Crum. Additional members gradually joined and replaced the earlier members, eventually becoming the five-piece group that we know as Faze-O. In addition to Crum, other members of the group was Ralph Atkins, Roger Parker, Robert Neal, and Keith Harrison. Most of the members shared lead and background vocals. What made Faze-O stand out? It was their groove. It was simple but powerful. Great funk bands understood one thing: the groove comes first, and everything begins with the rhythm, bass, drums, feel, and then chemistry. Faze-O mastered that formula. Their music felt alive. Their sound captured everything that was about Dayton funk. Breaking into the music industry isn't always easy. Competition was intense, especially during the golden funk era. Major acts dominated radio, and labels, they searched constantly for the next big thing. To succeed requires more than talent. It requires opportunity, timing, and support. Faze-O entered a competitive environment, but their musicianship gave them an edge. People recognized their quality. They wasn't chasing trends, they was creating real funk. The group was considering a move to Atlanta when Clarence Satchel of the Ohio Players offered to produce them. The group's collaboration with the Ohio Players resulted in the Atlanta distribution agreement for their own She Records. This self-contained entity began writing songs as a group, with individual members adding different elements and perfecting arrangements that fit one member's style and feel over another. By this point, Dayton had developed a recognizable musical identity, and Faze-O helped strengthen Dayton's reputation as a major funk force in music. And that contribution matters because cities shape sounds, and Dayton helped shape funk. As Faze-O began to release music, funk fans noticed that this was a serious band, a real musician group. They had groove, identity, and authenticity. Their records connected with listeners who understood real funk. By 1977, the band had finished recording their debut album. Including the assistance and production for the Ohio Players members, they released their debut single, Riding High, that peaked number 9 on the R&B charts. This was also the same name to their debut album. Riding High went on to be sampled by many hip-hop and R&B acts, such as EPMD, Criss Cross, Craig Mack, Ghostface Killah, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Fresh 4, to mention a few. The following March, the album peaked at number 19 on the Billboard R&B charts and number 98 on the Billboard 200 charts. Their follow-up album Good Thing was released that following year, and it peaked at number 40 on the R&B charts. Thanks to his Rick James style titled song, the song reached number 43 on the R&B charts. Faze-O was still working closely with Satchel, and they recorded their third and last album, Breaking the Funk, in 1979. This album had the same results as the first two albums. The easy grooving title song was the only single that did well. The song peaked at number 63 on the R&B charts.
We're breaking the funk, giving you more.
However, additional success didn't come. By the early 80s, the band officially broken up, with numerous members going on to join new groups. Harrison joined Heatwave before embarking on a long career with the Das Band. Meanwhile, Parker joined Slave before leaving for Steve Arrington's Hall of Fame project. Since their dissolution, the band had reunited in various incarnations to perform. However, all 5 original members did reunite on December 17, 2015 at DATV Studios in Dayton to discuss their music and reminisce about their time as a band, as part of a series of interviews conducted by local DJ Stan the Man Brooks to commemorate the opening of Dayton Funk's Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center. Sadly, Robert Neal passed away on April 13, 2021, and on March 5, 2023, Roger Parker passed away. What separated Faze-O from many groups was balance. They combined musicianship with technical skill with groove, precision, and soul. That's rare. Many bands can play, but few bands can really make you feel. This is what made them special. But it also leads us to an important question. Why isn't Faze-O mentioned more often? Why aren't they discussed alongside bigger funk names? Sometimes incredible talent simply doesn't receive full recognition. Faze-O became one of funk's most overlooked gems, deeply respected but greatly underappreciated. Despite being underrated, Faze-O's impact is real. Their music influenced generations of funk lovers. The grooves remain respected. Collectors still search for their records, and musicians, they still study their sound. And true funk fans, they know their importance. Faze-O also represents something bigger. They represents Dayton's incredible musical history. The city produced far more talent than mainstream history often acknowledged. Faze-O is part of that story, a critical chapter in Dayton's funk empire, and a chapter that deserves to be talked about. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song by Faze-O? While I have y'all here, if you would like to support the channel further, then feel free to become a member. By doing so, you help make these videos possible. I thank each and every one of you who supported me along this journey.